to some extent, I agree with this sentiment that the championship was less meaningful. Seeing what's happened this season, I agree. Flash plays so well. But the opponents he beat in the round of 8 and round of 4 were players I beat and got a championship. There are opponents I beat in previous seasons, so seeing him win wasn't scary at all. I plan to win. Even I beat them, he says. The guys you beat. Not scary, he says. Flash. I feel that Soma is ever so confident here. And he has every right to be confident. He is the defending champion. It's true that I'm the contender here. But what I'm saying is the championship used to be mine originally. I'm saying that I'll take it back. I prepared super diligently. He's beat others, but he's not beat me. And I'll prove it today. For the Zerg dynasty to continue, Soma's goal is to topple a god. Please give Flash one final address before we close things out. I am thankful for this opportunity to play a good opponent on a good stage. This is the most important day of my StarCraft career. I'll play like my life depends on it. Let's have a good match. We're on pins and needles as the players are ever so confident. What drama will unfold today? Only one player can raise the trophy on this stage. We're ready to begin. Please put your hands together and scream as we start the grand final. The champion of Season 20, showing unmatched force, makes 2 back-to-back finals. How do you feel making the finals? Winning last season, I thought I would take it easy preparing for this season. I had an easy time getting to the grand final. I feel good. Your reaction when you advanced? I'm feeling the pressure more than I did last time. I think that's what might have made me feel so happy. A 7-year comeback. Back and straight in the finals, taking down the strongest players. How do you feel making the finals? I'm back after 6 years and I'm happy to be in the finals. I think I've done a good job at it.
I've got to move my mic in front of me. All right, there we go, there we go.
Just get seated to prove myself like that. But as I made the round of 4, I then wanted the finals. Now I'm in the finals.
How you doing, beautiful?
There is no end to human greed. I have to win now to feel satisfied. Meeting Flash on his
Did you
ASL
change your
debut.
name again?
My debut opponent was Flash. I remember playing him in the opening match. Looking back, I see how little I knew. It was before Soma played well like he does now. I remember winning
But
these.
that's kind of dumb.
Soma and this Soma, it's night and day. It'll be fun. It was Soma's first ever tournament, and my last finals in the ASL as I went on to play Snow. He's worked so hard.
When did you change your name? I didn't even notice.
I'll have to work just as hard and prepare to not fall behind.
But no, it's time for Brood Wars.
Their first extended series.
But yeah, no spoilers. I mean, it's already over. I could check who won, but let's skip ahead.
Is he going to be cheesy? Is he going to play macro? It's really hard to say.
Okay,
like he's like the ultimate creator of Terran builds.
Yeah, the children are so active today and they're so bored. They're like, Daddy, I'm bored.
Yeah,
so
this
I'd
is gonna be
watch
so
them a
cool.
lot
I
today.
100% agree.
But they are
what you were
doing
saying
good,
and what
good.
We were both kind of saying at the end of the later games, I don't think people are going to be going Wraith anymore.
Yeah.
I think we got to see that really tried out at a level that you basically never get to see one style ever tested.
So,
a competition like a round of 4 ASL, that's all he went for.
if I was a betting man, I know. Well, they just say like, Daddy, I'm bored. Like, 아빠, 나는 심심해. 우리 뭐 해요, right? Like, I'm like, I want to relax, is what I want to tell them. But if I were to be a betting man, I in my heart want Flash to win. But as a Zerg player, I also want Soma to win. Right? I really like both of these players. But if I was to be a betting man, so it is Terran favored. But I watched some replays just to prepare for this while waiting and stuff like that. But I do think that and you get to see a lot from me, to hear from me talk about this. But I do think that Soma is going to win. Right? Like 4-2. And I say that because I think Soma is more. I think Flash is more prepped. Right? But I think Soma is the better player. And if this was 3 out of 5, I think Flash would have won. I don't know if you won. I think Flash would have won, right? This is based on my analysis of watching them. But since this is 4 out of 7, I think Soma will win from better improv. Because you can only prep for so much, and I think that's what's gonna happen, right? Like, I know that Flash is probably gonna win game 1.
I feel like we all kind of understand the whole Wraith
But the
style,
rest, I don't
the
know.
oldest TVZ styles there is, but it looked obsolete.
But I mean, like,
going
if you
against
don't know, like,
Flash, though,
I
you're
used
right.
to be, I wouldn't
this
say like
guy has
pro,
already mech'd in
but I
this
used to be like
season of
semi-pro
ASL.
for
Flash has
Star
made some
for
of the best
Brood Wars.
Valkyrie builds we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
He could easily go for SK Terran. He could do something really teched out. Could
But
even
yeah,
go
yeah, I
Commander
used to
first.
be-
We really
I used
don't
to
know
be
what
pretty
to
deep.
expect here, and Flash has been pretty good at being very
At the
secretive
time.
about a lot of
Nowadays,
his
like,
TVZs.
normal players are
Let's
just
also
way better
remember
than
the
I was.
road to get here. Flash didn't have to TVZ his way in the round of 4. That was a TVT. There's nothing Soma can look at and study from that. And yes, Soma
But-
did have a Terran versus Zerg. Sorry, a Zerg versus Terran, rather, to get this far. But I don't think latest style really counts. I don't think that Flash can look at what happened in Leda versus Soma and build that into his play.
Completely agreed on that. Yeah, I don't.
But
think we'll
but
see
that's
any
just like I said,
Wraith
that's just
plays
based
at
on what
all
I've
during
watched
this
recently.
finals, and yeah,
But I-
even looking at what Soma,
I do
it's
want
like,
Flash
okay,
to
well,
win.
he
I really
figured
do
that
want him
out,
to win.
But that
I don't
has
think he's
nothing
gonna
to
get
do
the
with
win.
types of plays that we're likely to see here tonight. So it's almost like he played a completely different matchup. You know, a lot of times if you had to play the same matchup in the round of 4 as the finals, your opponent got to study so much about how you play. But because of how obtusely Leda plays, I don't think that's the case. So this feels like a very fresh match where neither of them really know what's going to happen.
Yeah, this is going to be so cool. We're really going to unpack, I think, a lot about how modern TVZ is played. One of the successes
why is
of
it feel like
Flash
lagging?
is he seems to
Oh,
very
that's
gracefully
something.
sidestep a lot of the difficulties and complexities that you see in early game StarCraft.
Yeah.
And it's, as much as we talk about late game and macro and APM, the early game in StarCraft, a game of incomplete information with multiple spawn locations on some of these maps. It's
One moment. I need to crash that because for some odd reason it was taking like 50 gigs of RAM, and I'm like, nope, I gotta restart it.
Places with one entry point immediately, and if you don't go for something that can kill that right away, they have a huge amount of things that they can do with those 3 gases right off the bat. So yeah, I don't know.
Okay, there
how
we
he's
go.
going to
Much better,
approach this
much
one,
better.
But I feel like whatever way Jane Doe goes, it doesn't have that much effect on the series as a normal map 1 would.
I
Just
have
because it's so
64 gigs
different.
of RAM, beautiful, and it's mostly
Yeah, no,
for
you're
work.
right. Jane Doe
It's not
can't lead
DDR5.
into any kind of counterplay.
It's not DDR5. DDR5 is way too expensive. It's DDR4.
Yeah, there's going to be some counterplay in there. Anyways, guys, it looks like it's time for the ASL Season 21 Finals.
I'm just letting you know right now it's not DDR5. I wish I had DDR5. So like this type of matchup is really based on like harassment versus timing. What I mean by timing is that like you time your attack so that like you beat the Zerg out, because like the way that Zerg has to play this is that
Soma
like
here in the far right,
they're
Flash
very
in the far
they have
left.
like some of the best units, but they're like kind of like
those who
balanced
have
out by the
not
fact that
actually,
they have
I know we do have people that
to
just tuned
they
in
have
for
a
the finals,
limited
by the way,
units they
but
can
for those
build
of you who have not
due to the way
seen
they
this map
work.
yet,
They have
there
like these
are-
little larvae
first of all,
which
you
comes
have an
out
interior
you know,
base in the
every so
back on
often.
low ground,
So
and then
they're
you
very
also
limited
have,
on how
a
many
neutral
units they
marine and
can
a
build
neutral
at a
medic
time.
that have to be killed to get out of your main. So this is
Yeah, so
a
like
map that
you see the
has
little
certain
things moving
features that
around,
require
right? They're
extremely
limited by
different
those.
approaches
They
to
can only
play
have
It
3 out
really
per
does.
building
And,
at a time.
there's so
per-
many
per,
switches
uh,
from low
hive
ground
at
to
a
high ground. There's so many bases that are close to each other.
So they're always
Like,
going to
it's
have
not a
lower
problem to
amount
get
of
5
units in
bases up
every other
any
version.
matchup here. But the map is a little bit tight, and you know, mobility can be a bit of an issue. You need to open really, really powerfully here. And so we've seen so far, like, you know, before the season really got going, Flash was heavily favoring Command Center first into mech, but that has fallen off since, you know, the beginning of the season. So I really don't know what.
Yeah, they can probably go to probably two base
on this map, because like
why is my
if
computer
Terran
just
doesn't have a
lagging
really
randomly?
decisive plan, I think the map does become Zerg favored very quickly.
I'm very interested in the fact that he's going to go
We
for
need
an
to-
expandable
we need
low
to,
ground
like,
this. I don't
fix my-
know what I was.
Get her there.
I mean, I really thought he would be going into the back of the base. I mean, even the mining time
This
there
was
with
the-
or actually lack of mining time because the drone has to kill that worker.
Well,
Interesting. So he wants
yeah.
to secure this front base first and take an easy third base here. And Flash is going to do quite the opposite. It's going to be a super greedy command center first, of course, leveraging the fact that you do have the neutral units that at least wall off your entrance.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
sorry,
Like
go
the
ahead.
early game is just
part of the reason why Zerg
seeing how the build goes, and with the way they're kind of going kind of standardish right now.
Flash goes into a vulture. If you
And
took
I
that back
think going
expansion, there's no
standardish
way to
is
block
kind
that
of like
vulture really from coming up the ramp and ruining
how
you,
you
because you know you can't really get a sunken colony over there. You'd have to make a macro hatch over there or something. So, or you'd have to creep crawl across, which doesn't make sense. So that's like that opener does make sense, I would say, for
So
Soma,
I think
having
that, like-
down there, and you know he can just take that really free third base in the
I
back
think like
afterwards.
having I think
You know,
I think if
obviously here
anything
Flash
for
with the
Soma to
command center
win this
first,
right now, because like I think Flash is gonna win.
You know, gets away with it. One thing I was gonna mention before this started is I
And I
if
think it's
Soma
because,
wants to
like,
win this series, he
You're
has
playing
to
where
add in
Flash is the.
minimum
I mean, it's
one forward that
it's a
catches
Terran
Flash.
favored
Because
map
Flash
pool
does a lot of
versus
things on
Zerg,
Command
just
Center
because like
first,
how many
'cause for
how many
those who don't
times
know, like,
Zerg
four
has been
pool is
winning.
just like when you make your spawning pool without making even a single drone, it's the quickest rush in the entire game. And against something like Command Center first, it's literally a free win. Like you can't lose. Like you will win 100% if you catch a build like this. But if your opponent does anything that's not super greedy, you'll lose. So it's like one of these crazy coin flip scenarios.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what he's talking about is that Zerg can be fast enough to like
actually the first
stop-
build order in the game.
stop
To
Terran
be serious, I think
from just
everybody who got
winning
online
if they're
back
playing
in
like
1998,
a little bit.
this
Because like
game
everyone
came
plays a
out
little bit
with
greedy
being
because that way
sold, right?
you get ahead of
Probably
resources,
went to
you
the
start
phase where you
winning.
went, I guess that's what I'm doing. And then you find somebody where two people were four pulling each other, and that was a weird game. And then eventually you
And
four pulled
so
your way into a
I think
skill
someone might pull
level,
that off later.
or a group of people that were good
I
enough
think
they
someone
never
will see it
lost to
enough
four pulls,
times.
right? And then you started having
And
to
the
learn more and
gamble
more
will
advanced
be
builds.
is did
But the
Soma
four pool
guess
itself has
like
always been a build that is tournament viable because some people are so greedy. It was also, I think, what prompted maybe one of the only patches ever in the game, which moved the spawning pool from 150 to 200 minerals.
That's right. That was on the back of how ridiculous that build really was at the very beginning of the game.
And Flash is going to go for mech. So
I think that's what's gonna happen.
Command center first, especially when Flash does it. Commonly
Yo, Crude, yeah, it's
transitions into mech play.
it's Korea's national
mech
sport.
play has always been, I guess, what you could call the off-brand approach to Terran versus Zerg, right? So when you think of mech, you think of
That is all you have to
TVT,
know.
you think of TVP, right? Like Terrans had to figure out some way to combat Protoss. It turns out that was with the factory units.
And we're watching Brood Wars right now. We're
especially,
watching. Oh, let me get rid of
with
the little
mech
bit
were
here so
incorporated
that
into
you
the
can
game.
see a little bit
That seemed to be the
better.
better approach versus Zerg.
So it doesn't like
Terrans
hide some
eventually
information
figured
that you're
out
gonna
that
need to know.
You can make mech work, but it requires a very specific approach, and it makes for a very different game. And I think, honestly, Command Center first into mech is maybe the strongest of all the mech builds that there are.
So I think
TVC.
he's gonna go what's called mech, which is like
completely
using
completely the
mechanical units,
case.
and I think
But
I think he's just gonna
the
play
game
it
that
well
he
with
lost against
speed
Jaedong, he got
speed
away
up.
with Command Center first cross spawn.
Cause like it's what, and he's gonna like kind of do it
Jaedong
kind of
was still able
very
to beat him.
fast for a Terran.
Mech goes in and out of style against Zerg, where there's something fresh, something new from the Mech player, and the Zerg hasn't played against Mech in a while, and for a little bit, Mech is really strong, and we kind of went through that a few months ago. But
Yeah,
Mech
see like
has
how
been
much
waning,
workers
people are
that
not
like
going for
the
Mech as
Terran
much
has to get.
anymore.
Look at
But
the amount
on
of workers
this
that Zerg
map,
has. Like
it
like I
kind
said,
of
they're
feels like
very
you have
limited
to.
by their,
Because
and that's how they're
Zerg
that's how they're
getting
kind of
three
nerfed. And like
gases right
you look
away
at the
with only
top right,
one
how many
defensive
units
choke
they
point,
all control.
it's almost impossible to put on any real pressure there unless you have
And
mech
once again,
units.
that is just because of the way how the units work.
And
so
in
these
this
and controlling these units is
setup
very
for
hard
TVZ,
because like
mech versus Zerg defaulting into air
the way
fire.
they have to like the way they
This makes
stack
for
up
an
matters.
interesting dynamic because you end up in this weird.
And so like you'll
by the
have
way,
to
it
have them
almost
like
seems
gather
like
at
it
one
shouldn't
point
be
so they can
this
start
way,
one-shotting
but
things
you
at
end
the
up where
same
they
time.
both
Right.
end up in this
Hit the same
arms race.
target.
One guy's
And
powering
yeah,
Goliaths,
yeah,
the
yeah.
other
So
guy's
like Flash
powering
knew this was
Goliaths.
coming. Went to
He's
one
gonna
which is
come in
one of
here.
the
This will
best
be the
ground to
first
air
true
in the
confirmation,
game.
of what he's up against.
But the problem with that is that
And
Mutalisks are
the funny thing about it, I
just
remember when I
so
saw
good.
people meching, like in the early days when people were really experimenting with this, I always thought, well, there's no way you're both going for the same thing, right? Like one of them has to be wrong, right? Goliath seemed great as anti-air, but Mutalisks are such strong units. But it is a weird thing where you both lock in tech-wise and have to commit.
Yeah,
down.
see, and this is what I mean by like
Probably go
they have
into
to like
armor
do some
grades
level of harassment.
and then
And
eventually
these
incorporate ground
Mutalisks are
units.
just preventing some workers,
and there
getting some
are
resources.
some games where you'll actually see Zerg just double down on Mutalisks and be like, all right, I'm going to crush that first attack that comes out. Because, for instance, in this situation, if Flash just makes Goliaths for a while and ends up moving out with like between 12 and 24 Goliaths, if Soma makes Mutas nonstop, he'll be able to kill that.
Yeah,
But
see what I'm talking about?
eventually
Yeah.
you'll kind of scale past that, and it'll become a lot harder, and then it'll become like, okay, are we counterattacking and things like that? But
And so
let's
yeah,
see
they're
here.
just
I mean,
talking
Flash
about
is
that,
starting to
like
move
how
out, and he's moving
that's
out
the
with
thing.
10 Goliaths and a Marine, and I'm sure, 100% sure that he's tested that this move out is very strong in this situation. But Soma doing
And
a little
so,
bit of
yeah,
counterattack
Soma's
there. He's
harassing.
sunken at home, but that's not enough to hold this, and his Mutas are very far out of position.
I'm surprised.
And like I mean, honestly, as long as he like as long as he prevents Soma from like getting
He's
good
gonna come
arc.
in now. He is not waiting for the rest of the Mutalisks before he engages a little bit. He's going to now regroup. I think we're going to have to see the drones get pulled here.
Yeah, and that's that's what I thought was gonna happen. And
end up killing this
the thing is like because Soma's
The thing is, Flash tests these
Flash
builds, like,
Flash is
completely.
a
Like, he
little
actually-
further,
this is
but
how he wins
Soma's
games, is
close.
he figures out
They're
things
near
like
close
this
to
where he's
Soma's
like, oh, yes,
base.
they're weak exactly here. And I think that's what
They're
we're seeing from him. Is
he's
this
just gonna have the
beautiful test that
reinforcements
he's
when he
done.
needs
But
it.
Soma is eliminating a lot of Goliaths. Unfortunately for
I
him,
feel
though,
like an
Flash
old
is
man.
just
And so,
barely
yeah, you
having
see
enough
like
to
how like
continue
he's
pushing
stacking
through.
them. He's stacking them so that it
Flash
makes
is
it
gonna go
harder
for
to
a dive
target the
here.
right ones,
He's gonna
but
come in
also
now.
because
Remember
it makes
that
him
Goliaths
attack
have
at the same
incredible
time,
range here with these
and
missiles.
it
Mutalisks actually
does a
don't
lot
have
better
very
job
good
of
at all.
killing off
So he
units.
does a little bit of kiting. There is a sunken colony that's going to be morphing over here. The question is going to be, are there enough Mutalisks to actually hold this? The Sunk is making, remember that the sunken colony, oh, by the way, he went for air weapons here and not armor, which is a little bit cheaper. But obviously you're not able to tank as many Goliath shots. One thing about Goliaths, they're actually particularly bad at fighting sunken colonies.
Yeah.
So even one being done there is probably going to be enough. And it looks like barely.
So he's gonna try to do
Soma
some
survives that,
counterattacks
and
in the
game's gonna go
meantime.
on.
And he has to go
appears be
back.
trying
He has to back
get
off.
here
Yeah,
to
yeah.
intercept the reinforcing Goliaths to basically isolate the Goliaths that are already out on the map. But as he does that, he's going to be pushed probably out through the main here.
And
you know,
so
this
yeah,
is
it's
actually
harassment versus like prep and
really
training.
bad decision here by Soma. He's going to be eating a
And
lot
I think
of missile shots here. He's gonna come out with a
Flash
lot
is got
of,
this.
bruised Mutilisks.
Yeah, he is taking a lot of damage. And just to mention, because they've shown it a couple times, Flash did get a very quick +1 armor on the Goliath as opposed to plus attack, and that's pretty common with Goliath openers against Zerg.
And
You
I
can
think
kinda
it's-
put a
I
bit
think
more
Soma's
pressure
just
on because they last longer.
Soma was too slow this
but
game.
Flash has done a great job keeping this pressure onto Soma.
Flash,
And I think
and the
Soma,
thing about Flash
you know,
is like
he is in
like
a
his
little
base
bad,
state,
a bit
he
of
is
a bad spot
he is
right now.
pretty
I'm
fast.
very interested to see where he goes from here. Like, is he
Like
just going to
most
switch right
heroes
into
with like turtle
Hydralisks
stuff. No,
and try to
Flash looks like
overpower?
he's
The
just
thing
like,
is,
speeding
Flash
up
has
and
enough
just going
factories
along and
that
hitting
I think if
his
you try
time.
to tech switch here, you're going to be in trouble. Like, you know, during the
And I think that
transition
like
where you're
Soma
okay, I
has
need
to
get
like
Hydralisk
wish
upgrades,
to like
and I have to start massing
Hydra's
up this
lurkers
other
right.
unit. I think that Flash will find that as
He's
a
not
timing
going to win
and go
with
for
the
kill.
you
So
know
I'm really worried for Soma in this game.
the way that Flash is getting at the moment.
Yeah, this is getting a little bit scary here.
Okay, so he does
you
have the
continue to
Hydralisk,
mass
then
these
he is getting
Goliaths.
ready for
You
that.
Continue to power up. Zerg's on the 4th base. We don't have Hive Tech started here. In case you were wondering, well, wouldn't Dark
And
Swarm
with
be
the
great here?
amount
Yeah,
of,
it would be very good. But you have to, you really have to commit to the Mutilisks here.
Yeah, so he does also
or
he
the
is
Goliaths
also a
are
little
gonna overpower
behind
you.
on the.
But an armor upgrade, by the way, that's very good because Mutilisks have glaives.
I mean, Flash. Yeah, Flash.
So
So
the
yeah,
glaives
Flash is a little
obviously
behind on the
bounce.
units, but I think he'll. I
And
think
that
he'll
means
be
the Goliaths
fine.
are just going to be able to tank quite a bit more. Now,
The unit count shouldn't be this
you know,
close
we're getting
against
into a
Zerg,
deep
but
macro game.
once
with
again,
Zerg
I
on
think
3 bases, Zerg on 4
I think the
now.
fact that like
We don't have a switch into ground. I've seen people go for
Soma
Hydras
is, like,
with this
harassing
Artosis.
enough
I'm
is,
kind of out
you
of my
know.
depth with like late game mech TVZ, but we probably see him go Hydras here.
That's kind of normal, but I have seen a lot of players just go pure Mutalisk.
Yeah, and
on this
then
map.
just
If their
lock him
opponent
down.
doesn't get splash damage, they do counterattacks nonstop, which is kind of what we're seeing. And you can see he's using this bottleneck of the ramp, where the Goliaths are having a hard time all coming down and getting their shots off. He will eventually have to turn around as more Goliaths come, but look at the amount of damage he's doing. Like,
no.
you know, when I played on this map, a lot of the current metagame, it looks like this from Zerg, where they're like, okay, I have a million mutas, they fly in here, they kill SCVs, eventually you bring the Goliaths down, then I rotate these around, and then rinse and repeat.
Yeah, and
So
someone needs to do that
has
more
been
often.
Pretty common lately against the Command Center first into mech play to just kind
And
of
I think
reduce that
that's-
SCV count, but he is now
But no,
switching
no,
to
I
those
just
Hydralisks.
don't think. The problem is I don't think
By the way,
someone did that
armor's done
enough.
here. So you know he is committed to the Mutatech here. And attack
Yeah, okay,
is
so he
done
added
for
tanks
Flash,
finally.
by
He's
the way.
sieging
Flash is gonna
down.
push out.
There's
The
Hydralisk
two
there,
tanks
like
are
I thought would have
basically
happened, because that needs to
shell
happen.
down the sunken colonies, and the Goliaths are here to take care of everything else. The Mutas are going to go back into the main here, and it looks like Flash actually was waiting for this. This goes to show you how mapped out he has this. He had enough in the back.
Yeah, Flash was ready.
To not lose everything to the counterattack. And I'm a little bit worried here. Soma, I don't know that he should be fighting with these Hydralisks here. I mean, there's you know more Goliaths than there are Hydras in this moment. Soma is going to kill off some of these Goliaths.
Good
but
luck
now
with
he's gonna
that.
have
Good
to go
luck with your
back.
counter.
And the
Yeah,
question's gonna
tank
really
up,
be,
siege
you know,
up.
Is there enough to deal with the push? Remember that the hatchery that's blocking here, it does create a bit of a bottleneck for the Zerg. Oh my god, okay.
And
he's
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
find the
that's
tank
really
here.
bad. That's really
It's
bad.
very
That's really
important.
bad.
They're
That's a
gonna
lot of
set up
gas.
and take an attack out
Gas
of
is such a
this.
limited
We need to make sure
resource.
the Mutilisks
And yeah,
are
you
gonna
you
be
just
in
wait
the
up in the
way
front
of
like this.
reinforcements.
Yeah, picking off a few units there is going to be huge. If he can slow that slightly and hit with everything at once, maybe he can kill off this army of Flash. Yeah, look at this nice catch. He even has a couple Hydralisks up there to help out. The Goliaths have to turn around. And what Soma's going to want to do is, when he's a little bit out of position, jump on everything. And he dives in on these siege tanks now with the Mutalisks. Doing a great job picking a couple of these off. The Hydralisks moving forward, but there are so many Goliaths here.
Let's see how.
Yeah, and
Well,
I think
someone's
the
starting to.
muta
Yeah,
count is
someone's not
gotten
winning that
too
battle.
low. There are no sunken colonies, and the Goliath count is just high enough. I think we have reached the tipping point. I don't think Zerg can survive.
Good luck with
Flash
that.
will be winning game number 1.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
That is a
Soma
strong
lost the
opening
momentum.
from Flash, beating Soma on his
Or he
own
didn't.
map.
He didn't get the
You know
momentum
what?
that he
I think
needed.
so much of this comes down to that 10 Goliath.
Because like Flash
one
got the
Marine
momentum
timing.
early and
Do
just
not
kept
think
it.
that Soma was expecting that. It's not.
Well, it's
normal
not-
to
okay,
see
rephrase.
someone actually attack
Flash
across
didn't get the
map. That's
momentum
Flash's
early.
mom and dad, by the way.
Soma just didn't
That was,
slow down
That was
Flash.
really well done, really planned out from Flash. And like you said, that's early. We normally don't see something quite like that. So a great
And honestly,
attack there
yeah.
from
Like
really
Flash
putting
is
Soma on
very
his back
fast
foot.
at this. I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I mean, honestly very perfectly done there from Flash. I wonder what would have happened had Soma managed to get the Hydras to run around.
One moment. I'm gonna go take a quick pee break and grab some water as this plays on. Well, you know, obviously see more about this, but one moment.
We set it off, now it's going up. Can't take it off and we blowing up. Step in the spot and they know it's a squad around me and they make me feel glorious. Never been running, you gon' get summons. Never was in a marching band, man, but you can go here ring the drumming. They gonna feel us before they gon' hear us. They gonna hate us before they gon' cheer us. They gonna feel us before they gon' hear us. They gonna hate us before they gon' cheer us. Some animals click full of real ones, can't nobody handle us. This and my mans will be sure to dismantle your enemies. Plotting, they peep that we ran it up. Leveling up, call who you want, they ain't messing with us. You hear that do-do-do, you better don't be a little too late or you'll be out of luck. I rock gorillas and lions and tigers that's fighting. Go against us, ain't no class of the Titans. My wrath is a mixture of fire and lightning. And I do not care who don't like you, gon' hear us block a sirens, helicopters, medic or a doctor. Won't nobody stop it, we can get it poppin'. I suggest you squash it, that's a better option. We set it up, now it's going up. Can't take it off and we blowing up. Step in the spot and they know it's a squad around me and they make me feel glorious. Never been running, you gon' get summons. Never was in a marching band, man.
And I'm back with some water and a little child.
There it is, the Google Play Point. These points get you more than.
No, I mean, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, to be fair, like,
exclusive rewards that supercharge.
I don't know if you know this, but like when people say that, like,
score the latest must-have
you should
and up your game
yeah.
with sweet accessories.
Don't worry about it.
Now
Beautiful.
go get the rewards with Google Play Points.
I don't know either.
Redeem now. And go
It is
reward yourself.
how I state that thinner than I should. I think I stay thin, but I'm not exactly thin.
ASL Season 21 Finals.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you.
But yeah. So
the ASL Season 21
yeah,
finals.
Cali intake's kind of really weird.
Interesting game one. I think a near perfect
For
game.
calorie for activity is kind of weird because like you always use some calories
Until
from
it
just
was
like
time for that
breathing.
big push with the two tanks. I do want to point out that was like a moment where Flash got to do the exact
Right.
build he wanted because
Yes.
of the way the map is designed. And that's probably going to be a situation where he's going to be the strongest. He's really pretty perfect at getting from
To mine,
Skip a little ahead.
yeah, it's
Which
gonna
was
be
Octagon?
very rare.
But the finals of Soma versus Flash continues on.
But I do like I said, I do really want to see Flash win. Is it supposed to be like his last one before? Because like he's his hand is being injured and he just needs to stop.
Okay,
So
game
he's
two.
going. He's trying to go
Both
out with a
players
bang,
sharing
and I
the
caught.
top of
And
the
he's
map,
definitely
Soma
like.
in the upper left,
He's
and
probably
Flash in the
like
upper right.
the greatest. Like
Quick plug, guys. Consider
a lot
supporting
of people
us
call
on
him
our
the greatest
Patreon.
gamer
It's
of all time, just because like how dominant he
patreon.com/ASL
was at this
English.
game
We
and
love what we do
and stuff.
here, and we would love to earn your support and keep our mission alive of preserving the
But he is,
history
you
and
know,
the future of StarCraft in the English language.
very good.
Yeah,
at
it
the
is. It's an amazing time for StarCraft. You know, this is one of the most storied seasons that we've had so far. Fend all. I think it's really Zerglings in general.
So yeah.
There's like,
The first few
a
seconds
big
doesn't matter
force
unless you're
pull
doing
at
like
the
a
bottom.
rush. So this
And
is
then
once
even if you
again
try to
slightly
build extra
standardish.
buildings down there, the hole
Getting
goes around the
except
side,
for
so
except
it's like,
for
it's really
Soma
hard to
looks.
actually
Oh no,
play somebody
that's
off,
the
and he is, in
Overlord.
fact, going for
But yeah,
command
this
center
looks
first.
kind of standardish. This is what
And
you
I think he's
expect.
called this correctly, where it's going to be hatchery first from Soma.
Oh,
I think he
okay,
chose this
he's
map
being a little
really for
greedy
a
there.
reason. There's too many things that can go wrong with a Zergling rush here. Like I mentioned, there's like a really solid Zergling tight wall on the inside of the main base that exists
And
on this
I
map.
think the
So
guessing
it's
where
like
the
one of
where the enemy is
safer
also the
maps for
hardest
him
part.
to try to get away with a greedy build on.
I don't think you
Yeah,
can do the
CC first
Zergling rush
again.
here, just mostly because
You know,
of
like we
like
said in
there's
the first game,
there's a
four-pull
level of
beats this.
guessing you
But
have
of
to
course,
do.
a 4-pull loses to most other builds, right?
Mhm.
But you know, Flash wins this and does CC first several times in a row. That's going to be pretty painful here, and the drone's going to scout and see exactly what build this is. So this is what we'd call a build order advantage right now for Terran. You know, it was I think 3 years ago, but in GSL for StarCraft 2, there was a period where all the Terrans
Yeah, so he's
just
trying to
started
get
going
all the
command
information he
center first,
can,
and the Zergs
while
really got
also
punished.
harassing the
And it's the same
Terran
idea
player
there,
with the
right? Like,
worker.
if they're doing greedy builds and you're not also opening up occasionally with aggression, they're not going to be punished.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I just want to put that out there
I
in
need
case
to
we
figure
have
out
a
what's
couple
wrong with
more
my-
games like this, because right now this is kind of frustrating here for the Zerg. The CC is going to be up right away, and there's really no way for Terran to punish, or for Zerg to punish.
Yeah, there really isn't. Like, unless you already opened with the quick pull, there's not like a reaction that you can do. It's already too late. You have to just kind of luckily be already countering it. And of course, the thing is that can be really strong, but you have to be really careful against someone like Flash that understands the timing so well. Because, for instance, if you go 9 pool or a faster pool, you will kill command center first. But if they're not doing that, Flash it will go from free win all the way up to heavily favored. Right? Like if it's a 4 pool and he's not doing that, okay, he's going to crush
Oh,
you
one
no matter
moment. Let
what.
me
If it's
restart the
all
stream
the way up to
very
the 9
quick.
pool, it's like, okay, he's really favored here.
One moment. I need to start something. I still have the 5070 Ti. One moment. A setting changed and I need to fix that. I thought that was the case, but it apparently is not. So I got to run some monitor case, but it apparently is not. So I got to run some monitor and see what's causing that.
And he knows exactly what to do to punish you. So
Check my core
definitely,
tap.
some difficult choices here for Soma. I think that Soma won't take too many risks, but I think he will need to. At some
Actually,
point. If you're going to win a best of 7, man, like you're going to have to do it. You're going to have to pull the trigger and try to just get a very quick win. That
Yeah, I'll
might
check
set
that out
Flash
while
back on his
like,
plans.
I'm hitting higher temperatures than normal.
Nice moving shot. Oh, wow, he doesn't end up getting the SCV. Remember, the SCV never heals, so any damage you do to it when it's scouting, you know, is going to be that much closer to it being gone forever. Where, you know, a drone and a probe will
And so,
regen.
like I said, I'll have to definitely check
Even
that out
damaging
after
an
stream
SCV
to
when it's crossing
see
the
what's
map.
causing
When
my
it scouts,
core
you could be
temps to
good
go
because
up
you'll kill it
really
off a little bit faster.
oddly.
And this
'Cause, like,
game is
normally it
not
doesn't
gonna be
even hit
mech,
this
by the
high.
way. We're going to have a very, very different command center first game. We saw the eBay tucked away all the way in the top right. And this is going to be an infantry build order here. Probably 4
Even
or
while
5
streaming,
barracks,
doesn't ever hit this high.
I don't know if it's going to be with a
It's
push or not.
the
I would
stuff.
not be
Yeah,
surprised
that's
if
what it
it's
seems
straight up
like.
science vessel
And I'll
as well.
definitely have to like check it out
So
like
when
after
you see
stream
the
and stuff.
engineering bay that quickly, oftentimes what this will turn into is just like getting a really quick +1 attack, getting all your marine upgrades, defending the initial mutilisks, and then trying to hit with like
Yeah, and I have to probably
20
check
to
my
24
BIOS.
marines and about 5 medics, and like that's like a really strong timing where you're going to be beating mutalisk Zergling really heavily, but they still don't have lurkers out. So that's generally what you're going for.
Because
with a
yeah,
build
my
like this. And
CPU
in fact,
temps
he is
are
going
kinda
up to
higher
the
than
5
normal.
barracks, which you're just barely able to get away with Command Center first. So he's going to have a ridiculous amount of Marine Medic very, very quickly.
And like I said, I'll
And
figure that
this
out
is going to be
later.
hard for Soma to hold. This is hard for any Zerg in the world to hold. It's one of the scariest builds Terran can do in the early mid game.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be so strong moving on the map. It's really scary to try.
I
to
really
get a
hope I
third
don't have
base.
to like
I would say
repaste
if you're
it.
going to get a third base, this is maybe the map to do it. You know, 4-player map.
I
You
could
can
double
see
check
now
the
barracks
front.
is
Let
gonna
me
be
let me check the
relocated
fans
into
and
the main
stuff.
for more efficient macro cycles. And you know, look, it doesn't mean the Zerg has to lose here or can't hold this, but it's going to be a tough mid game. And by the way, we see the drone currently idling in the bottom left natural. Oh, and he's going to move it. I know that we're not showing this on camera, but wherever this hatchery is placed is going to be very important. On a map like this with 4 spawns, Zerg can go and try to hide a base, and he's going to send the
I'll definitely
drone
check it out
back.
later.
Wow. Okay, so no third base. So he doesn't even want to try to play a mid game.
It's definitely
where
a
he thinks
debuff.
Flash
Like,
might be able to
it just
pin him.
needs to happen like
This
recently.
is so interesting. You rarely see a Zerg do something like that. And in fact, he better be making a lot of Sunkens right now because he's diving pretty hard, but Flash is coming across the map. I think he actually has to bring his Mutalisks back. This is really, really dangerous right now. Flash is just trying to go for a kill, but there's only going to be 1 Sunken ready. He is making as many units as he possibly can over here. Like, he has to hold this push.
Yeah, he's going to start the sunken colonies. He's going to come in here from the side. Really good control right now from Soma. He takes out about 3 Marines before the rest can come back. And the next sunken colony finishes. The problem is that the targeting here from Flash is looking pretty good. I think Soma actually perfectly holds this, or as well as he possibly humanly could have done.
Yeah, that was a deadly move from Flash. That is Flash, like, really testing if Soma knows what he's doing here. And of course, Soma is. Just the pullback of that drone from the expansion means that he really read what Flash is doing very well. And Flash is scanning, looking for the expansion. He wants to find it. So
Yeah, I'll look at it later.
But it doesn't exist.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is, like, we know that there's no third base, but Flash does not. And one of the beautiful things for Zerg strategically on maps like this one is that there's a lot of places a third base could be. There's certainly places that don't make sense, right? Like, you're not going to take the
Because,
mineral
like,
only.
normally
You're
when
not
I'm
going to
saying,
take
I'm
one
not
of the
even
bases
hitting,
right
like,
next to you
60
because that's
unless
just
it's
too
playing
close to the Terran. But
And so
the
we shouldn't be hitting,
whole
like,
bottom of the
60
map is kind of a big
something right
question
now.
mark right now. So Flash is going to be spending a lot of time scanning and trying to figure this out. We're about to have Wave 2 come in here.
And Flash has that reinforcement coming up, so he will be able to actually punish the Mutas a little bit. But so far, Soma is holding on. The one thing I'm really nervous about is he needs sunken colonies. Honestly, in a game like this,
Like I said, we'll
like,
check it out
Flash
later.
can't even really afford a factory. So, like, you need to make some sunken colonies. You can't just always have him dictate where your Mutalisks have to be. That's not a winning strategy.
Yeah, I think
Or
getting
it's
the
time to
reinforcements is the
finally
play.
get a.
This Overlord is
It's
positioned
finally
such
time
that
to let the
he can find
CPU
that pretty
die,
easily. The first
and
factory,
just
by
get
the
a
way,
new
has started.
CPU because of
So we're almost 9 minutes into
fucking
the game, and the factory won't even be done yet.
fucking, you know.
Very rare. To put it in perspective,
Price
with
of
the games
RAM.
that are like Marine Medic openers, you generally get the factory started by 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So it's minutes late here. But Soma has held on. He's still alive. He's finally taking a third there in the bottom left.
Yeah, like the price
So
of ramp.
hopefully for his sake,
If it
that
wasn't
can
for the
get
price
up.
of ramp,
Flash
I'd
continuing
be
to
like,
macro
yeah, I
really,
could just
really
get
well.
him.
He's actually
And then
adding
sends
two
this
more
one
missile
off
turrets as
beautiful
well,
'cause he
realizing
needs
that Soma
something.
has some map control right now.
But no, price of RAM is just too high.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a very clean game from Soma so far. Flash has basically traded in. By the way, Soma going for +1 attack again. Goes for that against CC first, whether it's mech or bio. And he can start to try to take some attacks in over here at the main base. He's going to get behind the minerals. Again, you got to be careful to not go too deep with these Mutalisks. But, you know, the angling here, one of the funny things about Medic Marine is that it can be really hard to get in and defend certain areas.
I mean, it's not going like
because the
super
Mutalisks
high,
are
but it's
basically
a little.
repositioned,
Let me double
where there's
check.
only
It's
a
my air.
couple of Marines
It
that
could
can
just
hit
be
them.
also just a little warm.
And so he is going to just go right out through the bottom here. He could lose a lot if the oh, actually, that went about as well as it could have as well. I was going to say, if the turrets decide to attack the same Mutalisk, then you know things are going to die pretty quickly. But You know, that happens sometimes too, where each turret picks a different target, everything gets hurt, but nothing dies.
Definitely his
Yeah, he's going bio and
he killed
okay,
a lot of
okay.
SCVs, which is
I
really,
think
really strong. You need a pretty heavy SCV count to support all the production Flash has made. But Flash is probably done +1 armor, or very close to right now. I see it's not
yeah,
done
okay.
quite
So
yet as they
I
click
think
on
I think
Marine.
Flash
they
has
were just
got this.
checking for
Like
that.
the
Because
thing
that's
is, like,
that's another
sure, he's
power
gonna
spike
lose
where the
units,
News
but
and
like
Zerglings are gonna do
he can
even
just
less
build it
to
back
these
so
Marines
quickly.
and medics. But Soma is still trying to slow him down a little bit. He's got to be careful. That's a big amount of Marines and medics. Like, you might just die to that attacking you. You have to slow it down, and you have to have the proper defense.
He must know that there's a base in the bottom left, just looking at the way he's going.
Yeah, definitely
so.
after the stream, I'm gonna have to do some work on my computer and see what the issue is, and see if that helps.
That was spotted. The lurkers, I don't think the lurkers can get here before the Marines. In fact, yeah, they certainly can't. He's going to have to go around the long way over here. He's going to try to draw him back. This might buy a little bit of time, but you can see Flash is committed. He knows there's probably going to be lurkers coming down here.
And the lurkers might get there right in the nick of time, Tasteless. Look at this.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Just slowed him enough.
Oh my God, that was. Oh my God,
So,
bro, please.
you know, those things are called lurkers, and unless you have a way to see them, you can't actually
I cannot
attack
believe
them.
he actually got there. I was so confident that Flash would be able to basically get to the to the base before the lurkers are even there. And so this is big. Zerg gets a third base up, and that means Zerg has 3 gas.
Just turn it off of Uma and see if it was
Zerg versus
Uma
Terran is a
causing
very
that.
gas-intensive matchup. It's really all about trying to get as much gas for Hydras, for Lurkers, for the inevitable Hive, as well as the Defilers. And now Flash is just going to move into the center.
It's better.
Soma's going to try to set up for a big attack over here. He's actually going to hit where there's almost no medics right now.
Well, you know what? If he doesn't quite get the siege tanks, that's what he was really hoping to be able to get.
Maybe bad
But the
update.
reinforcements from that bottom left did come up and support those siege tanks because his Defiler mount is just finished, so he doesn't have consume yet. This is the next level of
When's the
Flash's
last
attack.
time
Oh,
I
you lived through the
updated?
Marines and medics? Now we're doing a siege tank push. And oh my God, that irradiate was amazing. Still no consume yet. Once he gets consume, he can throw down Dark Storms and live through this, but Flash might kill him right before he can get it.
Yeah, if consume can get done, one or two lings underneath this can do a crazy amount of damage.
Nope.
He's gonna try to throw
Nope.
the
Flash
lurker.
is
Again, we
Flash
don't
is
know
too
when.
fast.
We'll know that the exact second consume's done because we'll see the Defilers. Okay, here we go. He's got it.
Ooh, yeah,
Oh my
just
God.
barely. But Flash has already broken through the sunken colonies. He's already killed like 10 drones at this natural expansion. You can see the supply of Soma has dropped off to nothing, and GG is
Yeah. Flash
goes
couldn't
up
hold it.
2-0.
I mean, Soma couldn't hold it against
Perfect
Flash.
timing attack. Broke the Zerg's position right before Darkstorm could be utilized effectively. Only one lurker burrowed in there, and the Terran Marines and medics
It
spilled
just
into
was,
the main.
yeah, it was just too
They
late.
just dove right in there. There was nothing Soma could do. By the way, I feel like Soma is playing a world-class ZVT here.
Yeah.
I know he's down 0-2, but he is putting up quite a fight.
No one can do what Flash is showing us here tonight. Like, the fact that
And so we're going another game. And I think Soma has to win here or Flash just has too much momentum.
Okay, Soma here, top center. Flash here in the bottom left. Will we have another CC first?
No.
Something tells me Soma's not going to go for 4-pool in this series. I feel like we've talked about 4-pools more in this finals than we have in many other of our casts, but I do think it is kind of relevant here when you're talking about someone who is going for incredibly greedy builds.
it is important, but again, Sylphid is a map where every spawn has a ling-tight wall in the main base. So you can do something like go for a quick factory and wall in. So that makes something like the idea of the 4-pool very, very risky. Now, he's going for a natural wall. Obviously, there's not a 4-pool going on or anything like that. In fact, I don't even
Yeah,
think it'll
so
be
a lot of
pool
people
first
do,
'cause he's gotta
apparently.
be afraid of a tech build here. But if Flash goes CC first, man...
But
if
I
his
hope it's
planning
not
really
too bad for you.
is on a different level if that's what he opens up with here.
We're going to see. Soma is going to go get a couple more drones here after this Overlord hatches. And if we surpass 150 minerals, then it probably will be Command Center first yet again.
It is. It is once again.
Yeah,
I can't even believe it.
He's mining the mineral from the natural expansion. You basically do this because the SCV is already there, and you better to have it return 1 mineral from long distance than to sit there and wait for 400 minerals, right? And Overlord's going to see this.
thing.
And I got to say, I mean, if I am Soma, I'm going, are you serious? Like, again? And, you know, this is Flash being pretty cavalier, right? Obviously, you know, once you get this deep in the build, you can't just throw barracks down because they scout you, right?
Oh, wait, what's going on?
He's drone rushing. He's drone rushing, and he's, like, this other drone, I believe, is just taking another base. He hasn't even made a spawning pool, so he's trying to counter this greed with his own greed, and that made sense to me. But the fact
Wait,
that we
what?
have 4 drones coming down, and
This is
where he
something
made his,
I was
his
not
barracks,
expecting.
He didn't even make it in the wall, which means he's considering this as a potential counter. Are you kidding me?
Are you what?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to come down now.
Okay.
You know, Flash has to.
He's
pull more
preventing a lot
workers.
of
I guess what confuses me
Flash
about
from
this
just
is, you know,
doing
you're always gonna
stuff
have
from,
a
like-
few more workers
Okay.
to pull as Flash, right? Now remember that SCVs don't heal naturally, drones do, so you can harass more over time. You'd have to manually repair stuff. It looks like he doesn't end up killing that last drone. I don't know that this is going to slow Flash down too
It probably
much.
slowed him down enough.
Those are SCVs that aren't mining, for one, right? The pool starts, the gas starts. You know, the math is going to be pretty fuzzy on this one, guys. It's not going to be easy to say where each side is going to be at once this is done.
I feel like what Soma has done here requires Flash to have an overreaction, because his spawning pool was so late. If you see the drones, you might think, oh, he's going to try to slow me here so that Zerglings can deal damage. So
Did he
maybe,
just
like,
play a
you
mind
spam
game
out a
just so
bunker
he
real
gets
quick
set
or
up
something
third
like
base?
that? But Flash is not even blinking. Like, he's in such complete control of what he's doing here that he's even sending, after
Flash
command
found the
center
third
first
base.
and drones attack him, he's sending his first Marine across the entire map to put on pressure. It's truly an absurd thing to see. If you tried to play like this on the ladder, you would be laughed off of Battle.net, but Flash is doing it here in the finals.
Yeah, I mean, let's see what he can get done, right? You know, one thing is Marines alone are honestly pretty bad units. Like, you know, one Marine is probably one of the weakest things in the whole game. Like, even one Zergling can beat one Marine. Soma's control has been pretty good. I mean, as long as Lings hatch here in time at that natural, or that third base, yeah, he's going to be fine. So, I mean, Soma's doing a great job, honestly.
This is crazy. There's a bunch of Lings headed to Flash, and he has no defense whatsoever. Like, he doesn't have his wall up. Okay, he is going to float this over. I think it's going to land just before the Zerglings get there. He's making a bunker, and he's just going to have to bring some Marines or some SCVs up to that little hole in the wall to be able to hold. Oh, the timing here of Soma works out so well. And in fact, all the Marines die. Suddenly, Soma
all of a sudden, this is turning to Soma's favor.
Yeah, there's nothing
Because,
to
like,
put
yes,
inside the
bring a
bunker right now,
Zergling
so the
down.
SCVs are just taking damage. He's gonna try to come down, and he does. Can he actually get the body block? He does not. The bunker gets filled. A lot of SCVs are getting killed though.
And Soma goes after this Vulture, but I don't think he gets it. Oh, he does get the kill. Are you getting on that as well? That is insane. Three factories going up, so he is trying to go into mech play from here. Gets another Vulture out, but pure Lings from Soma. If Flash blocks
Soma was
the
about
hole
to,
in the
yeah.
wall, he can still win this.
It's
even
so
though he
good
lost all those
right
SCVs,
now
it's
because of
just
how
the
much-
amount
how
of
much
Lings
advantage
that are
now,
being made
now
is
Soma.
crazy, and Flash does not expect this. His wall is up, but he
He
pulls
stopped
back.
Flash enough that
He pulls back.
he
I
might
believe
have
he
a
just
chance
landed
to,
the
like,
wall as well. The Sim
come in
City is very good here. It's hard for the Lings to get in and actually hurt him. But Soma traded a lot of what could have been drones for those Zerglings, and I don't think they're going to find any damage.
Yeah, the Spire's 30% complete.
Yeah, now he just stopped, slow down.
You know,
Does
Speedlings, by the
Flash
way,
still
they can
Goliath?
fight Vultures if they catch them. You know, it really comes down to control. But we're seeing creep colonies at the expansions. You know, Soma is on a very functional 3 bases. right now. He's got drones, he's got his tack, he's got lings paired with the sunken colonies. You know, in a lot of games,
Depending on how
it's
fast
just a sunken that's barely enough to hold
the
this.
Mutalisk comes
Flash
up and
is
how well
powered
the
up with a
Mutalisk
lot of
are
vultures,
going
so he
to be.
might
But
try to actually
how you doing? How you
his
doing?
way past the lings into the main. And notice that he has one vulture up here by the bunker, but the rest are rallied down below. So it looks like there's one vulture here. And, you know, a Zerg could very easily imagine there's just an accumulation of Goliaths behind this. Now that Barracks goes up, let's see if Soma senses this.
I don't think he does.
Vulture
Like, he's
speed up.
preparing for a potential vulture run by, but this is way more vultures than you would ever expect in this situation. I love that he hold positions the Overlord over the lings there.
Okay,
Very
okay.
hard to connect
As long
with.
as someone prevents
But
the
Flash can
vultures
actually,
from going
kill
in.
Sunken, he can kill all these lings. It is possible. He's gonna shred those lings and try to go after
Yeah.
some drones. But don't forget, there's
Because
Mutalisks being created
Soma
right now, so he's got to get anti-air
Soma's
during all this
okay
as well.
as long as the Mutalisk pops up, as long as he doesn't let them in.
Are gonna come in here from the bottom. The drones need to body block.
All right, no, he's
The
good,
Mutalisks
he's
are
good,
gonna
he's
come in here and
good.
Do a lot of damage.
That's not
Honestly,
enough
man,
cards.
This is going pretty well for Soma here. Flash does kill a bunch of drones. That is painful, but it doesn't seem like it's going to do too much more than that.
Well, a few Goliaths are coming out now. He's going to want to keep those at home
With
for
the unit
defense
count
for now,
being
while
this-
he makes some missile
this
turrets
hype
as
for
well.
Soma,
Both of them have taken a fair amount of
Flash is
damage in this
behind.
game. Really hard to say
Yeah,
exactly
go in,
where both
harass.
these players are at. It seems to me like Soma is a bit ahead right now. And I don't know how much damage he'll get done with these Mutalisks, but he's already got his 3 gases going. And Flash doesn't have as much production as I think he was hoping for, and I don't think the Vultures did as much as he was hoping for either.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely Flash in a much, much more difficult position here.
Yeah, I think
it's fair to
Soma's
say that when those Lings
Gucci.
got in there and did that damage, the build order's already on a pretty painful trajectory at this point in time. The Mutalisk count is getting very high. It's Zerg on 4 hatcheries, and it looks
Yeah,
like one
does he
drone
have
is being
enough-
sent down here towards the bottom right to take
To handle it.
another expansion here. So Zerg's going to be going up to 4 bases pretty soon.
Well, those Mutas get pushed back. And, you know, he's got enough Goliaths to just kind of hold on against everything right now. But if you think back, for instance, to the Jane Doe game, where it was like heavy Muta against heavy Goliath, Flash
I
had
don't
a
know.
much better opener there. Whereas
Yeah,
here,
yeah,
Soma,
Flash
I
has
think,
more-
is in charge of that.
more
Like, he has
Goliaths
enough
than I
Mutalisks
thought
that if
he-
Flash tries to move out, the counterattack will be really, really strong.
I think air defense on Soma. Because like I have like what's
He's,
called information
now
that
getting
Soma
into
does.
Hydra attack here. We did see at the end.
I
Of
can
game
see the
one,
units and
you know,
stuff
the
like
Hydras are
that.
basically ready to go,
And I
but
just
didn't
think-
quite have them high enough in number. I think it's going to be very tough for Flash to get a 3rd base. You know, in the game.
Yeah, just
that we
get
saw
some
Flash win
lurker,
with Mac,
contain
that
him
was
in.
one where you get a free base in the back of your base, and honestly, just going from your high ground to your low ground natural is never a big challenge in StarCraft, right? But getting out to either the mineral only that's above the Terran's expansion, or out and to the right and down, the one that's more towards the center base, the triangle expansion, that is
Yeah, so
that's going to be tough. I mean, there's a
I
world
think
where
Soma's
Soma
production
just
is
has enough
way
to
high right
overpower
now.
Flash here. So I'm very interested.
And
if
yeah,
Flash
you
can
see
win
them
this game,
stacking
how
so they
he's
can
gonna
do
try to
massive
navigate this.
damage.
Yeah, this is a tricky one. I think that Flash is just going to go all in on 2 bases here. Just try to do like a Goliath siege.
And I
push
think
end
Soma's
it.
just gonna wear
It
him down.
doesn't look like the type of situation where he can go into additional upgrades and go to 5 bases and, you know, play a game like that. It just, the game looks really bad for him right now. You can see how few missile turrets he has. He had 1 turret there. Soma flies in, kills it. He's going to kill a ton of SCVs. He's going to get out of here easily. Honestly, his Mutas might be able to kill all the Goliaths right now. Look at how much damage they're putting out. My God, that's a lot of Mutas.
Yeah,
Shoots down
so
a
he's
deep
going
bow.
for
Okay, here comes that
counterattack.
counterattack.
As long as Soma
The
holds
Mutas
this,
are
he's
pretty
got
far
this.
away. The drones might have to even be evacuated here.
Like I said, I kind of want to see Flash.
He's going to throw down more sunken colonies.
I think as the Mutas come back, Soma's just going to crush this. He has far too many Mutalisks. Far too many. Look at how many he actually
Yeah,
has
keep 'em
here.
split up.
I don't think the Goliaths can hold on against this.
Yeah, I mean, this
Keep
is
keep moving
a lot.
along.
The
Just
Goliaths
don't
are
let them
getting
group
pulled
up.
out. The Mutas are just going to all merge in
Yep,
here.
Hydra. Okay, good
The
move on the
Hydras are
Hydra
gonna
because
bum rush
the tanks
get
can only
right underneath
shoot
them.
so close to
And,
that.
yeah, I
So
mean,
like,
there's enough Mutas.
yeah,
There's
no way to
enough
hit
Mutas, you can
those.
just overpower this. The tank's going down means that that position's never going to be broken, by the way.
Yeah, and he's getting those Hydralisks out during all of this.
Hydralisk,
well.
yep.
Smart to keep the Goliaths away and let the Hydras kill the tanks. And now it's like, okay, yeah, the Mutas are pretty badly hurt, but there's going to be Hydras popping out now. And while Goliaths are okay against Hydras, the amount of production that Soma has, he should be able to knock out every Goliath now with the help of these Hydras.
Yeah, the combination of the two is just a little bit too much. The Goliaths really can't take the fight very well. And again, with no tanks, I mean, you just can't get past sunken colonies here. I mean, taking out those 2 tanks with the Hydras was kind of the moment that really threw Flash completely.
Yeah,
out
the
of any
moment that like
position where he can
yeah,
try to
yeah,
close
that
the
was
game
really
out.
smart. The moment that like
Yeah,
Soma
it
distracted
seems really
Flash with all the
difficult for him to
Muta,
push through Hydra, Muta,
so he can move
colony
in.
with
He
pure
can move into
Goliath at this
Hydralisk.
point. He actually, well, I guess that one had very little health left. He actually killed off a lot of Overlords there, which is annoying, but Soma's not even supply blocked. He comes in with a flank for these Goliaths. The reinforcing Goliaths are too far away, so these are going to die without any additional help. And GG is
And yeah, okay, yeah. He know
Soma
Flash
takes map
realized
number
that he
3.
couldn't outproduce them.
Nicely done. He did pull it off. It was a weird early game.
Soma
In the end,
just won
You
by
know,
like
Flash
smashing
was
his head
destabilized. I
into
think
them
Flash had a
and being like,
pretty strong
I have
push
enough to do this.
regardless, but I mean, Soma, you know, now going into game 3 versus Command Center first, Artosis.
Yeah, Flash has been about as greedy as you could ever possibly be in these games. In fact, so greedy that game that he ended up losing with the Link counterattacks and everything, really dealing a lot of damage. But that kind of puts it to Soma. Is Soma going to try to do a build that counters that for the next game? And has Flash already anticipated that? And will he do something safe to open in game number 4? It's really hard to say.
Yeah, so I think Soma finally has a chance to win. He finally broke through.
I
Like I
mean,
said, like it's just. I think Soma
there
just
and
picking off
Green
enough that
headed
like
out. And then
Flash
it was
survive.
you more creation of them.
Own attackers.
Because, like, I think Flash is the best if he's allowed to just do Flash. Polestar, which map is Polestar?
Everywhere
Switch over to Star Championship Center.
with like, but it's holding off a push. Okay.
All right.
Predict so far, guys.
Okay, this map. Okay.
Okay. Flash here in the
Forpool.
top right. Oh my God.
Oh, is he doing
You
this?
Oh my God, he's gonna do it.
Yeah. Well, he needs like I mentioned. I was saying earlier in the week that I thought
Okay,
he
yeah,
needs
yeah,
to probably
'cause he
do
does
2
use this every so
pools
often
throughout
to
the
make sure
series if he
Flash
wants
is
to win, because
being-
Flash is so commonly playing greedy. But yeah, this is a really important moment. If Flash sends an SCV out to make a wall, then Soma should win the game.
So there are a couple rushes. There's 4 pool. There's 5
So
pool.
this is like the earliest rush
7
ever
pool,
made.
and then 9 pool. A 4 pool, I think, gets there like 4 seconds faster than a 5 pool. And when you consider, like, you know, oh my
See what's
God,
happening.
Looks like 8
he's
barracks.
gonna make.
Is he gonna? Okay.
Okay, so first of all, the fact that it's a 4 pool, nothing hits faster than this.
Yes.
And he's even going to use 1 drone to scout.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know the interaction exactly, but you have to imagine having the barracks and the depot out here is not good, is pretty bad.
Yeah, because it means
And
he just flip.
By the way, with this rush, you know
because the Zerglings are very
immediately
small and they can run by.
where
I'm holding my
actually,
breath.
hold on a second. I guess the Overlord has to scout the bottom left. So yeah, where does he send the links? I guess you send the links to the top right
Yeah.
in this build.
He should be sending them to the top right, which will be good for him. Like finding him with the drone would have been more powerful. So he's going to poke his head up there. He's not going to see it. He's not going to see a wall with his Overlord. So he should send the links directly to the north. And
he's
if
sending
he
north.
catches that first Marine, it becomes like almost game over. But if Flash can pull the Marine back and block a little bit, because see, he sees these links coming. He now knows that it's a 4 pool. He's got to turn that Marine around immediately. He has to bring his
oh my God,
down.
oh my God.
If he can get a bunker up here, he can do something like
Yeah,
float
yeah.
his
Flash
command
now
center
has
down.
to
and potentially end up being okay because this is an 8 racks. The surround hits on that first Marine. The second Marine looks like it's going to be in trouble here as well. Flash is trying to squeeze this back, but it looks like Soma's going to catch that as well.
Oh,
Beautiful mark
no.
with the drone.
Yeah, and you got to note the Marine will always pop out at the bottom left unless there's enough surface area that it can be popped over to the side.
Yeah, yeah, this is
my
over.
God.
It's
Okay,
over.
this is working. This is working. This is a build order win. It's looking like more Lings are going to trickle in here as the last SCV is going to go down. Can he get the block on this one? He needs to get one more block.
Yep, it's over. He has no way defending himself. That is such a cheesy win.
Oh my God.
That is such a cheesy. I
Yeah,
knew,
this was-
I knew that he was
This
probably
was an
like,
important
like
moment in the series.
I think everyone
You
that
have
watches
to
at this
mix
point
that
knew
in
that
against
this
Flash.
happened at
You have to do some hard
And I
counters
said it
and hope
earlier,
that
like-
they hit the right
like he
builds.
has to do something like
and
this.
honestly, that was like a game where
Just
it
he has
is
to be
potentially
lucky that, like,
possible.
Flash isn't
This
ready
guy
for
is
it.
wild.
Just to keep
It
him
is
honest,
potentially
and
possible
he
to
get he
hold
did
the
it
four
correctly there.
pull with an 8 racks because you get that Marine out so quick, but you have to keep the first Marine alive. And you saw that Soma, he microed well, he got his Lings in there, he surrounded that first Marine, and that kind of just shut Flash down. And then he caught the second Marine, and you know, from there it's pretty straightforward.
Like
Whereas
that
if
is that
had been,
was
like, a deeper
that
into
was
the barracks,
too
he
fast.
probably just kills him. I don't
I'm glad someone did that. He at least forces him to do a
Like I said, and I think like someone needed to do that. It's not.
more at the Zerg's pace.
It prevents.
Yeah.
You know, it makes Flash have to be
But
honest.
here's the thing though. I wonder, does he change anything because of that? You know, like does he look at that and say,
Oh,
"Ooh,
he's
he is
saying
going
goodbye.
for
I mean,
it,
like
maybe
I said,
I'll
this
play a
is
little bit
Flash's
safer."
last
Or
tournament.
does he just?
He's
like,
he is
"Yeah,
like the
that was
go
gonna
to
happen one
StarCraft.
day maybe, but let's keep going.
I really
That's
want to
where
see
I'm,
him
like, a
win
little
this,
bit
but at the same
nervous
time, I'm a
about
Zerg
Soma's
player, so like
chances.
I want to see Soma win. But
Well, this is
I
where
also
it
want to
becomes
see
a bit
Flash.
of a poker game, right?
Yeah,
Like, you know. I mean, I think Flash can go command center first more often than Soma can 4-pull. You know.
That's true.
I mean, I don't think we're
That's
going to see
true.
Soma go, wow, he's 4-pulling the third game in a row. That's crazy. So
Mm-hmm.
he goes for an early pull, but not the kind that's a crazy rush. This was, I believe, overpull.
Yes.
In other words, you start an Overlord and then make a drone and then make a spawning pool.
And that's like if you go for the overpool, you can block something like center barracks or an 8 barracks push a little bit more easily.
Yeah, he's just
But
preventing early
Flash isn't
rushes.
going for that this game. In fact, it looks like this is going to be the most regular, normal kind of safe opener from Flash that we've seen so far. It looks like it's just going to be, you know, a pretty fast expansion. Do note that he has not scouted yet. There is like a variation of this where you scout really, really late, and in fact, I think he just barely didn't see that Overlord. The Overlord has just a little bit more vision than the Terran buildings.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So he knows what he's going
I
for.
think Flash still doesn't know where he's at.
What- And I
Now he
don't think
definitely does.
Yeah,
As
yeah,
the
now
Overlord
he
makes his
sees
way
it.
over. Yeah, definitely saw it.
I don't
there.
think someone's gonna
he knows
rush
that
here. I
Soma's
think
in the
someone's
top
gonna play
left,
the game of mutas.
and he should be able to just expand easily here. But notice that he's not scouting. Like this is Flash, man. Like he just optimizes relentlessly. Where it's like, yeah, I want every mineral. This command center is a little bit faster than you'll normally see. Like if you scout and the normal scout timing is on 12 supply, then this command center starts right about now. So, you know, he's got like a 15-second edge on what a normal build would look like here.
And yeah, he built enough to
I
prevent
do
it.
find this out of all the things that pro gamers can do, the hardest thing to do, and also the thing that good players or even new players, sorry, not good players, new players should never copy
Yes.
is the whole not scouting thing. I've even seen some guides the Koreans will make for like pro gamers will make where they're like, no, don't scout. You don't need to scout. Just do this. And it's like, no, you need to scout. Like new players.
I mean, you have to scout.
They need
Just
to see
know
the
like
other
what they're
guy's
doing,
where he's
right?
at
Like
to kind of start to formulate
otherwise,
the
like
game
you know,
in
you
your
get
head.
caught off
There
guard.
is a way to approach the game where you scout either very late or not at all, but you get to have like your tech come out a little bit faster.
You still got to scout, right? I'm not saying that like
players that they scout.
I don't think that you have to like go full on, but you have to like see what they're doing.
Soma is going to get inside the main. He's going to see that it is a factory started right away.
That's huge. That
and
is
also, we
so
should
big.
point out, if you're both sharing either the left side of the map or the right side of the map on this map, you are really close.
Mhm.
So there are a lot of timing attacks Terran can do that are really, really sharp and will hit you really
Okay, he's going
fast.
for the Hydralisk. Okay, so
No,
he's probably
I
not
love
doing
what we're
Mutalisk
seeing
this
here
time.
from Soma.
Makes
The
sense.
fact that he got those
By the
two
way-
Zerglings in is
Because like he's definitely
like,
mixing up his build.
insane, and you can see that he's actually going ahead and he's looking for a counter here to what Flash is doing. He's throwing down the quick Hydralisk Den, I think this is just going to be a 2-hatch lurker all in because a factory this fast generally won't have good detection.
Yeah. So the biggest factor right now is this SCV. Flash has sent another SCV onto the map, and if he gets in here and sees this, you're gonna have enough time to hold this.
Yeah.
So I think this could be game losing right here. I think you see the den immediately. You are going to try to do everything you can to hold this. So the SCV goes down. Now, remember, this is like a real, I was talking about sharp timing attacks from Terran. This is going to be the same thing from Zerg. He's going to get real close here. The problem is that the bunker's already started.
Yeah.
Had that SCV not got in there, I think this game might be winnable. But right now, and just because it's Flash and he scouted it early, I have to imagine he's going to be prepared. He cancels a third factory. He starts the academy. He's got the eBay coming here. The bunker's coming along as well.
He's probably
It's really hard to imagine him losing from this position. Like, he's going to be ready for the lurk rush. Maybe Soma... No, Soma's just making more links. He's going completely all in with it, which makes sense, because to rebound from here is going to be tough. Maybe he can get enough aggression off to get that damage. But we're going to have a missile turret going up, multiple bunkers. He's going to be making units to help, and he's getting comsats behind. So even if you get the lurkers in a great position, he's eventually going to have the scans that he needs. Look at that. A siege tank comes out. Flash's defense of this looks amazing so far, but maybe Soma still has a chance with the amount of units he's made.
I give this game less than a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 bunkers, turrets spread out, a tank there, detection, SCVs being made the whole time.
Siege mode.
This. Yeah.
Oh my God! Look at this. A huge amount of lings coming in as he burrows at that bunker. He's going after the siege tank with those zerglings, and he actually will get the siege tank. Flash is not repairing anything. That's how confident he is. I don't know anyone in the world that, dude. Every SCV I had would have gone up there trying to repair those bunkers, but he's like, no, this is a hold.
No, he knows he doesn't need to pull SCVs. I'm so glad you pointed that out, Artosis. That's so funny because it's so true. It's like he just knows, like, no, I don't even.
Yeah, okay. That's what I was thinking. Like, Flash is just too well prepared.
Can't say I blame him for doing that.
Flash.
I get he was trying to do something different just to just to try to get Flash prepared, but.
The 4-pull was great.
This is worse. What breaks or makes though.
I do not blame him for that Hydra Ling all in. By the way, that feels like also something you're going to pull out at least once in a best of 7.
Yeah.
You need to have one.
I think he was ready for like brushes and stuff. So yeah.
And kill him. We're going to go to Attitude here for map number 6. If we do go to map 7, it's going to be on an oldie. We're going to be finishing this.
Okay, so I do think that this is a Soma favor, just because there's a lot more space to work with.
Top right here is Flash.
And it's a lot harder to get like contains in.
Quick plug, guys. Consider signing up for our Patreon. It's been an amazing season, and season 2 will be right around the corner. I am so glad, StarCraft is able to continue to exist in an esports way. I've been watching these tournaments since I was like in high school.
Yeah.
Downloading, VODs and trying to follow and trying to not be spoiled. And it's incredible that, 27 years later, it's still going on.
It is.
And we are so happy to bring it to you in English.
Yeah. And thank you everyone who's signed up on that Patreon already. It is so much appreciated. Please.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
Patreon.com/ASL English.
Yeah, a lot of old people.
Yeah, I mean, this final's already, reasonably tight, reasonably close. Some really good build orders being used, and whatever happens this season is going to lead into that next one, right? Like, if Soma ends up winning here, how big is that? Right? Like, how if he wins 2 in a row, dethroning Flash, it's like, okay, we really are in a new era at this point. Whereas
I think we're already in a new
era. Okay, well, he's not going to play next season, is he? Some crazy things about
the fact that, like, so this is Flash's last one makes me a little sad.
Yeah. So, it is Overpool, by the way. And by the way, it's kind of crazy. We've had a lot of games where Soma is going to get the first Overlord scout and see where the opponent is. And this is a position where you can actually put the Overlord in a spot where they don't know that you scouted him.
Yeah, that's quite true. And Flash hasn't really been scouting. Like he's doing it again, where he's just like not scouting. He's just going to make his next depot with that SCV and make his command center a bit faster than we normally see. But it's overpool, so like we could have Zerglings pop out. He might decide to drone. He might. Yeah, it looks like he's not really going to make Zerglings. I think he's scouted this and said, okay, well, it's pretty clear what's going on here. You're not scouting me, so you know, maybe it's not worth it to make Lings and send them across the map when there's going to be a wall that just blocks them.
Yeah, I mean, he's continuing to make drones. We just saw one hatch. He'll, you know, no matter what, he'll get at least 2 Lings because you eventually have to kill the scouting SCV. But yeah, a scoutless command center. So look, this looks like a lot of the other builds that Flash did, but it's done in an order. The build order is safer,
Yes.
right? Like, you know, you can't just be killed off immediately here. So, you know, a lot of the ideas that Flash have are pretty similar, but this is not going to be as robust economically as like CC First. Now, we also, when we've had kind of an even playing field here, we've not seen Soma, you know, trying to go toe-to-toe. Soma's played after game 2, Soma has basically played a completely different style.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy openings, super sharp all-ins. Let's see if he continues with that here, if this is going to be more of like a standard-looking TVZ.
Yeah, like his layer timing's normal. You know, he's going to be a little bit down on drones compared to what he could be, just because.
So yeah. So no rush is happening, but
it's not a huge difference.
the fact that he can't contain Soma is probably going to be,
you know, feeling like there's no way out of this. But Flash right now adding a factory. We'll see if he adds another one. Is he just going to stay on the mech train? I think he is. It really looks like it to me. You know, he was talking after his match against Jaedong about how he's got to go back to bio and the mech isn't working anymore. And then we see mech all day here against Soma. So that might have been a calculated way to speak about it. But he's actually, never mind, he hasn't added a second factory Tastes, which means this is a starport rush.
Yeah, you know, we might end up with kind of the third build order here. You know,
but yeah, we'll see. As Zerglings, I don't think they're getting in. I think they're just out to make sure that Soma can't just get in.
Move here. He is good. No.
Or Flash can't just get in.
It is just a different order of factories. I guess, you know, if you go CC first, you get the second factory much faster.
Mm-hmm.
With this one, you go factory, armory, factory. So it is going to be that mech style.
Yeah.
Which means it will be that accumulation of Goliaths. I don't know if it's going to be immediate or not. You know, we saw a game where he went for vultures and then Goliaths, but it could just be a very vanilla Goliath build, which I think is totally fine.
I think that's exactly what it is. You know, the armory and the factory take the same amount of time to build. So if you're going to go straight for Goliaths, it doesn't make sense to add the factories any earlier. You can just get a little bit of extra mining. He has the eBay coming up, so he'll have those missile turrets as well. So this is like a really just solid opener from Flash, once again going into this heavy Goliath type of play. And I'm interested to see if Soma can actually counteract it now. He doesn't actually know that that's what's happening, but he does see that the second gas is pretty quick. If you were playing just straight up Marine Medic, first off, there would have been more Marines made from this barracks, which he can see with his Overlord. Second off, the gas would not be up this fast. So he knows it's a tech build. It's just, is this like Valkyries? Is this Goliath?
Nah, it's not. It's
quite yet.
It's Flash. He's not gonna go Valk. He doesn't.
Yeah, no,
he doesn't play air. He's not Letta.
Knocked my mic there.
He's gonna go like a whole bunch of ground units. And
yeah, he knows it's not
bursting that way like the Kool-Aid man.
And by the way, Flash has been meching more in this tournament than he has in I think any other ASL we've had.
Yes.
Which is interesting. I didn't really see that in the cards when the season started. I don't know. Yeah, I just kind of always default.
That's exactly what he's gonna do.
Occasionally mech, but mostly go bio. But he's gonna go for it again here now. A lot of the same rules apply from game 1. You know, one side starts to amass Goliaths. It causes an arms race where the Zerg keeps making mutas. The Goliaths keep getting made. The Zerg eventually wants to combo it with Muta Hydra. But you have to get a certain amount of Mutalisks out.
I know
before
exactly
you
what's
can
gonna
really do
happen.
anything. And I love the Burrow incorporation. I think that this is one of the strongest things versus mech play in ZVT is that you know, you can basically monitor where they are, what they're doing. This is going to be another 10 Goliath timing, or is it 10? I think it's actually like 7 or 8.
It's a 7 Goliath timing. He does have more that are rallying out, so it might make it to 10. But like, I've never seen one this fast. I have never seen it. This is absurd how quickly he moved out in the map. But he got an Overlord with that, and he's just going to walk back. And you can see Soma's reacting. He's not harassing with the mutas. He brought them back defensively. He's adding a secondary sunken. So Flash got him to change what he was doing there just by walking across the map with those Goliaths. And now he walks home, and he'll defend, you know, while he gets the next stage of his plan going, which looks like he's just going to go to 5 factories.
Yeah. So it's important, you know, when people watch StarCraft, this is one of the things that's probably the least obvious in the games. You see them move out and then go back, and it's like, oh, nothing happened. Well, actually, the Mutalisks, like Artosa said, were not attacking. They were ready to defend. A second sunken colony was made, which means you had to give up 1 drone. And these don't really seem like very much, but when you get the 2 best players in the world, that's a lot. So now the Goliaths are just going to sit back, and this looks more and more like it's going to be some kind of a 2-base all-in. The question is going to be, does Soma have the right formula here to macro into a game where he doesn't die to this? And that I don't know.
Well, the mutas come in and kill that first turret very quickly, going after these SCVs, so Flash has to run them. But Flash is out kind of in the middle of the map with most of his units. It looks like he's not going to turn around. Okay, he sends a small group in to push these back, waits for the tanks, and now he's going to go. Soma has brought up more Mutalisks. There are 4 sunken colonies, so the tanks are actually going to be pretty key here. But will Soma turn around with these mutas and bring them to help? I think he's going to need every unit he has to hold this.
This is
Now he got
a really scary
Soma's
position
got
here.
this. No, I want
Because,
Flash to win. Yeah.
you
So
know,
yeah,
Terran has
once
already
again,
lost
he's
a lot of
doing that,
SCVs, but
like
the
I
push is
thought
gonna hit.
he was gonna try to
It's
do.
going to
But
hit real hard.
I don't think
Armor's
Soma's
done,
gonna be
which means the
stuck in
Goliaths are just going to have more sustain in these fights. The Mutalisks
Yeah,
are
yeah,
in
see,
between.
he's
So a
got-
lot of
he's
times
got all
you see
these
pushes like
Mutalisks.
this. The trick is to get in between the reinforcements. But you know, Flash, the way that he's kind of waited
And he's
here,
preventing
these
Flash from just
reinforcements
getting-
are
yeah.
pretty high in number. I think what Soma has to do is kill whatever he can over here and then get back home before the last sunken colony disappears. Oh my God, he's going to go in the main.
Yeah, so he's actually making a lot of sunkens up on the high ground, which is going to make it harder to break in. But he's keeping his mutas on top of the factories, so he'll be able to kill every Goliath that pops out, basically. Like, this is a very strong move from Soma. He is in a complete
So
base
it is-
trade
it is-
right
it
now.
is-
But with those
The
extra
question is
sunkens,
now
that will
is, can
slow
Flash kill
Flash's
Soma
push.
first?
I actually think this move from Soma was quite brilliant. Look at this. He's taking out the factories. Flash can't even produce units anymore.
Yeah, you know, I've never really seen this situation. But yeah, he can't get in the main. There is a bottom left main. It is true if you can park on top of barracks or factories against Terran, sometimes because their stuff is pretty brittle, especially when it's like just in little individual pieces.
Yeah, it's too late.
you
Soma's
kinda just kill
going back
everything
too
they
late.
have.
Yeah.
But now the Goliaths are
Or
going to go back
Flash is going back
home.
too late to prevent Soma.
So he's going to kill off the... What a crazy game. By the way, the 2
Crazy.
tanks have been left-clicked down to the bottom left because he knows, you know, they're not going to be important to push anymore. He might as well just use the only 2 tanks he has to kill drones in the bottom left. The circumstances of this game are so unusual.
Dude, he has 2 tanks in the bottom left right now, killing all the drones. The Goliaths come back. He has to win this fight. It's as simple as that. If his Goliaths can't kill off these Mutalisks, then Soma
No,
should
Soma's
just
got
have this
this.
game. He never lost the hatchery on the other side. Look at this. And GG is called, Tasteless. Oh, we're going to go to game number 7.
Oh my God. The esports gods have smiled upon us. Out. Soma really seizing control of this series, you know, in the middle of it. Now we're tied up 3-3. Flash, you know, the most decorated StarCraft player in history, the most accomplished pro gamer of all time, is back here in this ASL. He says it might be his last. But Soma could end up beating him. It could happen, man. It's all going to come down to match point. You have to imagine these guys already had special builds planned for this map because it is a different looking map. Have they changed that because of what they've seen each other do? Does Soma have some kind of, more conservative play because it seems like he's figured out how to deal with the mech play? Will Flash stick with mech here, or does he go back into bio? I don't know, man, but we are moving now into game number 7 in this series to find out who will become the ASL Season 21 champion.
Yeah, not surprised how that went. I am not surprised at all.
Okay, Zerg in the bottom
So
left,
this should be
Terran in the
3.
top right. It's all going to come down to this one game. You can see these guys are extremely evenly matched. It literally can't be closer than this 3-3 here in a best of 7.
I was not expecting to be this
rarely
close.
Get to a game 7 in best of 7s historically in StarCraft. A lot of them are like 4-2s, 4-1s, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But here we are, one of the craziest finals ever. Let's keep in mind Flash was doing Command Center 3 games in a row to start the series off, and Soma came with a very sharp punish in game 4 with the 4 pool. Will Flash ease back into CC first this time around?
I don't know. That's the tough part, is deciding how to open map 7. It's like, do you open it with pure bravery and just do a greedy build or an all-in build? I feel like the greatest champions in time over time have answered yes to that oftentimes. Now, that being said, there's a drone coming across. So if Flash tries to start a command center, this drone alone is going to cause like a real big headache for Flash. Because he's going to have to send at least 2 more SCVs down. Oh my God. He is going to go for command center first again.
Wow. Yeah, and we know that, with the SCV mining the mineral there. So, first of all, you could body block with a drone.
And look at this. He starts his pool and he scouts it. Oh, my God. This is absolutely crazy, man.
Oh.
Now, you got to be uncomfortable as Flash here, because now... the whole idea is, like, if they find out late, it's kind of like you've already got away with highway robbery here. The drone can block, what a world we're in where the drone is blocking the command center, right? Normally it's always the drone being blocked so the hatchery can't be made, but we had a brief moment where the drone got the block. Remember, the drone will also accumulate HP over time once the healing starts. Which is now.
Flash is late.
And as long as SCV doesn't hit it, it'll keep accumulating. He's pulled 4 drones. Dude, oh my God!
This is so crazy right now.
And
this is so
crazy. This is
mining with 3 drones on minerals.
This is so fucked.
Remember the game where he did this before? There was no rush that came immediately after. This time the opposite's happening. There is a rush.
This is gonna end like in 2 minutes.
There is a rush
for one player.
Oh my God.
And he's going to send the 4 drones in the front. Now the SCV is going across the map. This is still, honestly, a decent amount of time to get a bunker up.
Yeah.
The SCVs are going to come in here, and they're going to be going for whatever. Okay, get the SCV that's making that barracks. Okay, can he get a deny? He gets the deny. Artosis, this is so insane.
This is absolute madness.
Oh, no.
He's
okay.
Gonna try to make a Marine.
You gotta try to make it, but
SCV's down to battle this, and he is making a bunker right now. You can see Soma is microing his heart out. Flash knows the Zerglings are coming. His SCV is trailing them. He knows exactly where they are on the map, but he has to get a Marine in this bunker, and he has to block this perfectly. But look at the drones. The drones are trying to block him. Oh my God, Tasis, we are so close right now. This could really go either way.
Get the block off.
That is insane. He gets it into the bunker.
Oh no, there's a different issue.
Past. Now he has the speed upgrade, so more Lings can come over and get in as well. The bunker is
no.
Before they finish. He's got to bring everything to the natural. He has to give up his main. There is no way you're going to beat this by killing Zerglings with SCVs.
This is so insane. Yeah, the Lings. Oh my God. Okay, so he has 2 Marines in there. So he can shoot down Lings as they come in. But this is an extremely difficult position right now. you have Marines that basically can't come in here and protect the SCVs. He's going to make a second barracks. I don't know if that plugs or not.
No. There's no circling tight wall that exists here. You have to make a bunch of academies next to each other. But look at the damage that Soma's getting. He is killing a lot of SCVs here in the lane. I really think Soma needs to give this, or Flash needs to give this base up momentarily. Ooh, he actually has some good micro there. Morlings running in. Yeah, you just have to bring your SCVs all to the natural.
Nope, he has to get rid of it. He has to try to save them
a little bit, and then try to retake your main.
Remember that every hit on the SCV is going to be permanent damage. You can see Flash's head is thrown back.
My
he realizes
God.
this is going to be so difficult. The Lings come in here. They get this. Oh,
GG. And
Oh,
Soma
fuck.
has taken down Flash in the finals and won his second ASL in a row with an absolutely crazy.
That also was a victory I was not expecting.
Speedlings going after Flash, and Flash, he was outdone
So-
here.
so-
Jesus.
so-
He
so
says
much-
it's
so
his
much
last
face-
ASL,
risk-
but he has
so much
failed at the end of the finals.
What?
That is insane. I mean, the predictions were so favored for Flash, and how could they not? I mean, this is the greatest player to ever touch StarCraft, but today, Soma has defeated him in one of the craziest, closest finals. We didn't know who was going to win that until the last second.
Yes.
He's done it. Flash returned to take the throne, but Soma had the answers. And I cannot believe that that game ended with drones rushing to interrupt the Marine getting inside the bunker into a Ling run by, into a punish in
What?
the main.
The champion.
That was
Google
kind of
Play
unfortunate,
ASL.
but
Interview,
good.
guys. I
Congrats,
think in a
Soma.
second here.
Taking
I
down
can't with
the
it. I
guys
want
he's
to see
done.
Flash win just
A
because,
new
like,
dynasty of Zerg.
he has to quit because
Soma.
his hands are hurting, and it's kind of one of those sad moments.
A season of assertion as the Zerg dynasty coasts to victory. The one true champion stands to attention for this ceremony. It was truly difficult, truly challenging. All the data was pointing to a defeat and beginning the series with a loss in the first game. But in the end, it was you who took it all. You cut a god's wings as you become the champion. Now, all over the world, countless fans can see and proclaim that the greatest player, the greatest one.
But anyways, good games on that. I'm happy to see that. And I think it's now a good time. Memory lane, yeah. But anyway, thanks for watching, Cutiful. I appreciate it. I'm good. That was just nice to just go down Brood memory lane, and I should have more time to stream now because of I don't have to be a teacher for a little bit. But anyways, I love you. Peace out, and see you guys all later. Yeah, it's odd to stream again, but see ya. Yeah, I'm definitely getting my rest because like I am old man Jenkins. But anyways, peace out.